Oh, there we go.
Hi.
You're back.
Yay.
All right. Let's see here. I never know how to see if we're like actually...
Well, it says scheduled. It doesn't say that it's live. Oh, yeah, it is. We're good.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is a super impromptu little live stream as Taylor gets...
Got to share to social media.
Gets a thing...
pull it up.
Pull in and post in there. So we thought we'd just kind of hang out and chat a little bit. It's been a while. We obviously haven't uploaded in a little while because we've been busy and traveling and doing some different things.
Just a little busy.
Which has been fun. Kristen, hello. Yeah, so we've been doing some different things, which is kind of nice because it is different.
New live streams every Sunday, and today is
Thursday.
Thursday.
That's right. Well, because we've been busy on like the last few Sundays. Obviously, I didn't do anything this past Sunday. Just trying to get things together. Obviously, and I don't want to talk about our MSC Cruise until like we've really gotten some videos out.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spoil everything.
Yeah.
For how great of a cruise it really was. Because it was awesome.
Stay tuned for that.
That is all the more sarcasm that I can give you. But, yeah, I don't know. It's like, as I always say, I love just being able to get on here and just chat with everybody and talk and answer questions or whatever. So, you know, that's what we're doing. And I think it's also a little cathartic is the word, maybe the word I'm looking for.
Sure.
For Taylor and myself, just to kind of chat and talk about whatever. So I was actually thinking about today, what I really wanted to kind of talk about was just go back over our river cruise, because it was just...
I'm not prepared for that.
It was just so much fun. It was just such a great trip.
Josh said, oh, we can talk about whatever. I said, okay, well, if you don't want to give me a topic, then...
Yeah, you know, I mean, we just kind of like, you know, we can chat about anything.
Oh, I think we should talk about the river cruise. Oh
Right.
My gosh, no, I'm not ready for that.
Herschel, hello. Yeah, so this month,
sorry, I'm still sharing to social media
what I will say is, what I will share with everybody is, hello there. Love your running videos. Oh, thank you guys so much. That's a good thing I'll mention right now as we get started, which is, I am still running Dopey for next year, 2024. I'm also going to be going to Disneyland to run the half marathon. So we are fundraising for that for Dragon Master Foundation. You can head on over to travelwithjoshandtaylor.com or the wdwcouple.com. It's going to take you to the same place. And find the donation page where you can make a donation that all benefits Dragon Master Foundation. But the catch is, it's not really a catch. You get to decide or help decide what character I will be dressing up as, which I do need to add from our friends Katelynne and Tyler, who have requested that I add Wendy and the Peter Pan characters, because Tyler is going to be running, and apparently he might be dressing up as Captain Hook. I was going to tell him that I will add Wendy if he will be my Peter, but...
Wendy, like, is that going to be the name of, like, the movie? Like, Wendy? Or you're going to do Peter?
I would be dressed up as Wendy, because... That was the whole point.
But what you have listed on the website right now is not characters, you have
the movies. Right, yeah.
So
I
it
would
would be
list
Peter Pan, not Wendy.
Yeah, I would list Peter Pan, but you would see me dress up as Wendy. Not that her costume is like, would be hard to do, because it'd just be like wearing a nightgown.
blue dress?
Or a blue dress, I guess, right? So yeah, so head on over there, leave a donation. It goes for an amazing and really great cause.
You need to share that on Instagram more.
I do, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do need to do that.
So that people see.
Keith, are you going to be hanging out with the Magic Dads this month? When they are there, take them to Universal. So
they do need to go to Universal.
Yeah, if they want to go, we are totally up for going.
As long as we're here.
Well,
we do have their dates of when they're going to be here, but we have some things coming up in June. We're actually going away this weekend, which you'll hear more about this weekend, or if you pay attention to little hints that I give on social media,
Instagram primarily,
you may already know where we are going.
So yeah, it should be fun. So we've got that this weekend, and later this month, this is quote unquote Taylor's birthday month.
I get a whole month now.
No, not even close. Not even close to a whole month. But what I will say is that I I always, you know, it's really funny. We always.
Are you gonna bring this up again?
We always bring this up. Hold on. Let's just like.
Again?
I'm gonna crack this door a little bit because it'll help to make it a little less echoey and a little cooler.
I'm pretty sure the last time that we did do a live stream like this, you brought it up.
Did I bring it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. About how I always really try hard to plan something fun and exciting for Taylor's birthday.
And every Patreon podcast that we record, Josh brings this up as well.
But poor Josh here doesn't get that kind of excitement. No, it's okay. So I have been working hard and trying to plan something fun for Taylor's birthday. I feel quite confident that she's going to enjoy it. It's going to be a good time. She might feel like her life is slightly in danger at some point.
Yeah, and I told him I don't want to do that because that's already giving me anxiety thinking about it.
But you'll be fine. You know,
Whatever.
I would never put you in a situation
I don't believe you.
where that could happen. Maybe. Anyways,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so that's what we've got going on this month. So not a lot of stuff as far as like travel related things go, even though Taylor's like for your birthday, we'll be gone from like basically like a Wednesday to a Tuesday.
That we're not doing something travel related. I thought we were.
It is travel related. Yeah, what am I saying? It is travel related.
You said we're not doing anything travel related this month, but we're going on a trip for Taylor's birthday.
Because last year we did a cruise, it seemed like almost every single month. And I feel like now every time that we don't do a cruise or something,
it doesn't feel like travel to you?
I don't know, but we are traveling this month for Taylor's birthday. So we don't have anything planned for July though. At least not yet. So. Oh,
I could plan something for July.
Oh, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could.
So we just went on this trip to the Greek Isles. So if you, I actually need to catch up on our Instagram story because I did not finish posting our stories from this trip. But we sailed out of Haifa and we went to a few of the Greek Isles. We had a stop in Turkey and then we were back to Haifa and Israel. We went to Jerusalem and the Dead Sea and then we flew home. Well, since before we got home, I've already been trying to figure out what we're going to do next because while we already have another big cruise coming up in August, which we really like cruises because we can leave all of our stuff in one place. We don't have to worry about it. It's on the ship. And then we don't have to worry about transportation from place to place, even though in Europe, transportation from place to place is pretty easy because they have trains everywhere.
Right. Relatively cheap, too.
It's just so easy because then our breakfast and dinner is taken care of for every single day, plus snacks or lunch, depending what time we get back on the ship. So, like, cruising is just so easy from place to place. But we had the best day. What was the best day for you on our cruise?
It was Athens, for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
So our best day was Athens, and we loved it so much because we didn't book an excursion, and we explored on our own. Granted, Josh did make me walk for 45 minutes to get to the train station.
It was only like a 10-minute walk.
It was only a 10-minute walk. But we had so much fun because we did go to a few touristy places, but then we also kind of were just like, let's just walk down some of these streets and see where we end up.
Right.
And we did like pick a little restaurant that we were going to go to, like a little cafe. So we were kind of making our way there, but we were just like going down all these little different side streets. And we ended up going down some like really cool streets and seeing some things we definitely would not have seen if we went on a tour.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, I'm like super excited to plan a trip that's not a cruise because we were able to get around so easy. Thanks to our friends Alan and Lisa who taught us how to use the trains in London.
Yeah.
So now we kind of like have a better understanding of how to use the trains. Not that it's hard. It's really not hard. You could do it on your own the first time. But like having somebody that guided us around the trains like for a whole day, it like made us feel so much more comfortable when we went to the train station to get on the trains.
Yeah. So I would just be interested because, again, like I know when we started making this change earlier this year, I always keep saying that like, we're not trying to be a cruising channel, which we're not. We want to just be able to like travel and do things and share those experiences with you. And, you know, if we make mistakes, which we certainly made mistakes on this past trip.
Those were not our fault. Those were not our mistakes.
One could argue that the whole, I don't want to go talk about it any further, but
I don't think
everybody
they were
will see.
mistakes.
But, but is for us to like share those mistakes with you so that you don't also make those mistakes,
yeah,
along the way. So I would just be curious. There's always this, like I always see in the news all the time about somebody falling off of a cruise ship. Somebody.
And I still am trying to figure out how that like happens, but
somebody died and they put their body in the freezer, but then it wasn't in the freezer. They moved into a cooler, and
that did not happen on our trip.
No, none of this stuff happened on our trip that we just talked about. But I'm just saying, like in general, you see it on the news a lot about cruise ships. Things are happening all the time, and yet it doesn't seem to deter anybody from cruising, because especially with this summer and the way the travel's been going, the cruise lines are almost sold out. Like the prices are super inflated.
Well, I think it doesn't deter people, because if you saw the picture of those people that had a front-facing balcony who climbed over their balcony and were sitting on part of the ship, if you fall off, that is literally your own fault. That is no fault of the cruise line. That was your choice.
Gareth, when are you guys back in the UK? Hopefully sooner rather than later, but we don't have an...
It's probably not going to be...
sound if my camera goes out. All of the audio is going to my camera. So we're back. Sorry, everybody.
Expedia, all your trip, all in.
Wow. Taylor's like, I'm not sure what she's looking up. Taylor's video feed is still going, yeah, but her mic is muted to hopefully stop a little bit of the echoing.
Hold on.
Who remembers ICQ? That's what Taylor's looking up right now, is ICQ.
Uh-oh.
Anyways, all right, so missed the entire answer because I don't know what's going on. Maybe my cord is bad or something. So, what do we got going on? So, for the, oh my gosh, for the UK, we do have stuff planned to go back.
We do not have a trip booked.
No, nothing
but
booked.
we have things that we want to do.
Right.
We're trying to put together an itinerary.
And essentially what we're looking for is hopefully to do like 10 days over there. So obviously I think most people who have been following us for a while know that Taylor and I co-own a travel agency, right? So we are looking to like, obviously we saw a ton of Disney. We do a lot of cruises, but we're also looking to try and get people interested in doing some land tour stuff. So that's what we're going to be looking at doing for the UK and Scotland, is building a land tour that maybe all of you out there watching would be interested in doing as well, because I just think that sometimes to really see all the things that you want to see. Oh my gosh, Taylor.
I'm the problem child today.
For sure. But I think sometimes when you really want to get in and see a lot of stuff, without the time constraints, you have to do a land tour. You just can't do a cruise. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, I was talking about talking about the river cruise, River Cruise was awesome because we got to do like a little bit of a tour in the morning, and then you had time to explore on your own. But we were still constrained with the time of needing to be back to the ship. So we didn't have the opportunity to stay out late or to get up early in the morning and watch the sunrise over the city or someplace special, right? So when you go and do like the land kind of stuff, the land tour, you have that ability to kind of make a custom itinerary. And so that's what our whole UK Scotland trip will be. That's going to be next year.
Yeah, it'll just be the two of us.
So, but we are working on...
Well, maybe, unless I can talk Matthew into going.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm fine with that. But we are looking at doing a land tour in October that Taylor's working on. I would have preferred to go to the UK first, but we're doing what Taylor wants to do.
We can go to the UK first!
So, you know, Taylor gets a birthday week. She's going to go to... We're going to go to wherever she wants to go in October. So...
You're literally rude!
But no, seriously.
Look, right here. Look at this. Hold on.
I saw them. So Taylor's
I got an itinerary for you, too.
She's pulling up some itinerary stuff. But, so we've got that. But the other thing, too, is just kind of like creating some options for us to do different things. And I think that's... The cruises are always so nice, as Taylor mentioned, because you really only have to unpack your bags once, and then you can go see a bunch of different destinations. And you can do that for relatively cheap, right? Because your food's included, your accommodation of where you're staying is included. So cruises are really, really great, and they're awesome. But sometimes to really like get in and explore even further, you just have to do the land-based stuff, which is what we're going to start trying to do a little bit more. So, yeah. Hello everyone, M&T. We went on the Wonder of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas in April. Cool. Awesome. You know, I'm actually not, like, I think we are going to be on the Icon when it comes out in February or something like that.
Maybe.
But I'm honestly not really looking forward to it. It's really interesting because, no.
You're so weird.
Hear me out, though. Hear me out.
Okay, I'm hearing.
It's so weird. You're out of focus because whenever you lean back like that. But it's just when we first did our first cruise, which was on the Fantasy, decent-sized ship. It's not enormous by Royal Caribbean standards, but
no,
it's decent size, right? We did the Magic, and I was like, wow, this ship feels so small and tiny. Don't want everyone to be on this ship again.
Yeah.
We just did MSC Musica, which was roughly the same size. Oh my gosh, as the Magic.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We've done the Dawn and the Pearl, also similar
probably about
size.
those sizes. Yeah.
And then we've got the Epic coming up in August. That is bigger than the Fantasy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
None of this might make any sense to you, but that's how I visualize like the size of the ships in my head. Everything is always a reference back to the Fantasy because it's the first ship we were on. But we did
it's the ship we've been on the most.
Right, that's also true.
It's the only ship we've been on more than once.
That's also true, yeah. But we did this river cruise, which again, you can't really compare like apples and oranges because that's what a river cruise and an ocean cruise is like.
Yeah, there's like 200 people on a river cruise.
But that's what was so nice, was having just so few people on the ship. And even just to give you like a little taste of like the MSC stuff that we've got coming out this, which will be starting next week on Wednesday, you know, the first like couple days there didn't seem like there was really anybody on the ship. And I think that's because of how that itinerary works, where you can get on the ship basically at almost every port as an embarkation port. So I'm like, I think it's exciting to have the Icon coming because it's enormous, but it's not a ship that like I want to be on, you know, like, because it's just so big. And the other thing is that like
I think we're still gonna have a good time.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that we wouldn't have a good time. No, it'd be a fantastic time. But it's just like I think as Taylor and I continue to do more things and travel a lot more, we want to like spend more of our time being able to see the actual destinations. Excuse me, my throat got very dry. We want to spend.
He's still rehydrating from our day in Jerusalem.
Oh my gosh, it was so hot. I drank very.
That was
water.
almost a week ago now.
But I think we just want to see more of the destinations rather than spending all of that time on the ship, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so pretty much my whole entire TikTok algorithm has changed over literally just the last like 2 days.
We're talking about algorithms now? Oh, because I guess
conspiracy theory.
Here we go. Oh boy.
No, we'll leave it at that. Shane's got a new video out, conspiracy about TikTok and phones with infrared scans and. Anyway,
right.
I brought up TikTok because my whole entire feed has changed. Like, I had a lot of food stuff, like making food at home, like recipes. I don't cook. I send them to Josh.
Herschel, thank you so much.
But then I'd have like a lot of stuff that's like some travel stuff, some like photography stuff, and then like funny stuff because I like to send people TikToks. Some of my friends will know, but it has recently changed. I literally did a couple searches of like a few different places in Italy, a few different places in France, and a few places in Portugal. And now my whole entire TikTok, besides the few people,
foreshadowing.
besides some of the people that I follow, like literally my whole entire TikTok feed is like, eat this when you go to Milan, Italy. Eat this when you go to Lisbon, Portugal. Like, this is where you should stay on a 10-day itinerary to France. Like, I'm like, okay, write this down. Okay, save this. Send this one to Josh. Send this one to Matthew.
Well, I think you bring this, like, I don't know if you meant to bring this up in this sense, but Kelly just asked, do you have any good advice for creating a good budget for Europe, specifically Paris and London? And I think what we have been finding is that one of the best places to start looking for things to do, I know it's not necessarily budget-based, but at least looking for things.
To get ideas of what you want to do.
Is just to go to TikTok, because the...
Instagram Reels, too, if you don't use TikTok.
Sure. But, I mean, like, it just seems like you can get better results of finding things that aren't necessarily always so, like, highly advertised. Not that they're not good because they're not advertised, but, like,
Okay, so here's an example. Like, Paris, like... You're obviously going to see a lot of TikToks that talk about going to the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre and whatever the little arch thingy is that they have there. Like, yes, you are going to see videos of that, but then you're also going to start, once you start watching those, the algorithm's going to be like, oh, they want to go to France or they want to go to Paris, and then you're going to start seeing more videos that are like, oh, hey, I went on a trip to Paris, but here's where you need to go instead. And it's like a trip where you go to Paris, but then you go off to one of these little like villages out in the country and do all this other really cool stuff instead. Right. Or like, oh, hey, there's this really fancy restaurant that overlooks the Eiffel Tower. How about you go eat at this place instead because it's a lot more budget friendly and the food is really good and like homemade, whatever. Yeah.
And I think that that's one really great thing about TikTok is that it gives you this option, because even like, let's for an example, going back to our MSC stuff, which we haven't really talked that much about, but when we were looking at things to do in Athens, when I try to do a Google search in Athens, I get all of the exact same results over and over again. Why? Because that's just the way that it's been set up. But if you go to TikTok and you search,
you can literally use TikTok like a Google search.
Absolutely.
But then it's going to start changing what you see in your feed.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it'll change
No.
the algorithm.
I mean, it's going to change what you see in your feed based on that search, and then that's when you're going to start finding those things that you didn't think to look up.
Yeah. So I think it's I think a really great place to start when it comes to trying to figure out a budget and some of the things that you want to do. Obviously, I think you just have to set a base for yourself of what you want to spend, but then go to TikTok or go to Instagram Reels and just start kind of doing a search of
a lot of people will say how much they spent, like at restaurants or on hotels or whatever. I mean, if you're looking to go super budget friendly on any trip in Europe, like, and I mean budget, you would stay in hostels.
Yeah, that's true.
I do not plan on ever staying in a hostel.
We'll see. So,
you just got to kind of keep that in mind. Like, hostels, you can get super cheap. However, I've seen on TikTok that a lot of people say that staying in an Airbnb is way cheaper than staying in hotels. And sometimes your Airbnb is going to have a better view than some of the hotels can even get.
Sure.
Because, like, there's apartments and stuff that are in locations that a hotel can't be at.
Right.
So, like I've seen videos of Airbnbs. Granted, the price might be a little bit more than an Airbnb that's a little bit further away, but, like, I've seen Airbnbs with a view of the Eiffel Tower and a view of the Trevi Fountain in Italy. Like,
Sure.
You can't beat that, but, you know, you might pay a little bit more for those, but do you need to pay for a room view that you're not going to be in very much? Like, that's another thing to consider when trying to figure out your budget. Do I want to pay for a room with a view, or do I just want to pay for a super cheap room that's going to be there for me to sleep and shower,
Right.
and then I'm not even going to be in the room?
Yeah. It's kind of like a cruise and when you need to have a balcony, but you're never there. Because that's
Josh.
But I would be remiss if I didn't give us a shameless plug as well, that if you do need help planning a trip to Europe, obviously reach out to GetAways. There's a link, I think, in the description, or you can head to GetAways.com, or you can go to our website and still find it there. We do have agents who can help you with that. We actually have one agent who has been helping some friends of ours who are on our very first group cruise. She did a custom planned itinerary for, I think it was
They went to Italy.
and now she's doing one. They just said the other day.
The UK?
Maybe it's the UK? Maybe like UK and Ireland or something like that.
I think so, maybe.
So, you know, we have people who know what they're doing. So if you need help, reach out. To my knowledge, it's not going to cost you anything extra. So, but, yeah, it's, I think just like land-based stuff is just not necessarily where you're going to see more of it. It's just land-based stuff. If you don't go with a tour company, right? Because there's plenty of land tour companies out there that have already built itinerary.
And if you want to do a tour, our agents can get you set up with one of those tour companies.
Oh, yeah.
Because we work with them.
Yeah. A good one is, you know, they'll have everything already set up. So you pay one price, right? You don't have to worry about hotels or I think most
transportation.
Right. You'll have to worry about food because normally, like, they don't include breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. Depends. Some days they include like certain meals throughout the day, and then certain meals you're on your own.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were going to do for Tokyo.
But if you have a real problem with constraints, which it seems like I do, because instead of just doing that with one of those tour companies, I'm like, no way. Like, maybe I don't want to go do that on this day. I'm going to do something else. So that's what we're
doing our own.
Yeah. So, but it takes a little more time. And Taylor is building out one for October. So, and I guess my brother's going to be tagging along with us. So we'll have some company. I'll have an extra person to hold the camera and do some extra stuff with.
Matthew, that's the only reason we invited you, to take pictures and video for us when we need it.
So, Brian, it is Gold Gal Getaways. So GOLDEL. I have an ad that I can play right now. Vacation planning made easy. Back to us. So, yeah, let's see. Some comments, because we had some comments here. Donald. Donald Newman says, we loved sailing on the Epic in the Mediterranean. That is really great to hear. I'll be honest with you. After our recent cruise, we're a little nervous about our Mediterranean cruise. So I'm hoping that things go swimmingly well with Norwegian and on the Epic. It does look like a pretty decent sized ship. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're not really planning to spend that much time on the ship anyways. We're really looking to be going out and doing a lot of stuff in the ports kind of on our own. I think it's not everybody in the group, right? So if you guys don't know how we do this, this is going to be our
third.
Oh, yes, yeah, so, yeah, sorry.
Third group cruise?
This will be our third official group cruise. We had like an impromptu kind of group cruise in January.
A bunch of our friends ended up joining us last minute in January, which was really fun.
But this will be our third kind of group event, which is really cool. And I know some of us have booked some excursions directly through Norwegian, but Taylor and I are kind of like trying to take the charge on doing some things on our own outside of like doing things directly through Norwegian.
I think as of right now, we only have two. This is an 11-night cruise, and we only have 2 excursions booked through Norwegian. All of the other days, we're going out on our own.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, but I'm excited because hopefully, you know, if we make mistakes, you'll be able to learn from those mistakes. And it'll just be fun. You know, sometimes the best parts of videos are when things go horribly wrong. And that's like, you know,
I can't wait till you see our first video from this MSC cruise and it wasn't even us. It was our friend Marianne. Oh, I just can't wait.
Fun time. So, Keith, have you thought about an Australian or New Zealand cruise?
Yes.
Sure, we have. I don't know. Maybe Taylor's given it more thought than I have.
Oh, I have. I've looked at like flights, and I've looked at where we'd stay before.
I think honestly, at some point. So again, I don't work a regular 9-to-5 job anymore. Taylor still does, but
it's not 9 to 5.
Well, it's not 9 to 5, but we co-own a travel agency. We do photo and video. We have the YouTube stuff, right? At some point, the whole goal would be that Taylor doesn't have to work anymore, and like maybe we could spend our lives just doing full-time travel.
That'd be nice.
And part of that would be advertising, with Go Getaways, because that's our co-own of the company. But my ideal trip to go to Australia and New Zealand would be to maybe take a trans-Pacific cruise, because it would be cheaper than flying.
It would
obviously take a lot longer, but cheaper than flying. So you get to experience maybe a new cruise line or something like that, a little different, and then get to Australia.
Don't you think I'd get sick on that cruise?
I mean, I might too. I've never been on a ship that would maybe experience the kind of waters that we might experience. But I think like get there and then do the land-based stuff. Like spend time going all over Australia and then jump on the like little puddle hopper plane to go over to New Zealand so that I can walk around Mordor and Middle Earth. It's just me geeking out a little bit. But, essentially that would be my ideal trip to go and to like spend, like 2 months or something traveling down. That'd be cool, right? Be awesome.
It's really funny that Josh brings up 2 months because literally this morning I saw a TikTok that was like, how I spent 2 months in Europe. And I said, Josh, I'd love to spend 2 months in Europe. And he's like, yeah, right. And now he's saying, let's spend 2 months in Australia and New Zealand.
It's like futuristic like thinking, we were talking about things that we wanted to do like maybe like next summer. I don't think that is realistic per se, but maybe it is. I don't know. Who knows? You never know how quickly things can change. So
Taylor is gonna work until she's on her deathbed.
Work until she's dead. But what I will say though is that we have talked about doing some type of like group event that would be a cruise to like Fiji and stuff like that, which I think would leave from Australia or New Zealand?
It goes one way or the other. You either go from Sydney.
Oh, they're one ways. That's right.
You go to Sydney to the islands, or you go from the islands to Sydney.
Yeah.
Which I think going from the islands to Sydney would be best because then we could spend time in Australia after, and then go to New Zealand and then go home.
So I mean, who knows? At some point, it might happen. I can tell you one thing that definitely won't happen. We'll definitely not be on a Disney cruise. It blows my mind how much those things are costing people down there. So we actually, when we were on the river cruise, they had made the announcement, Disney had already made the announcement, that they're pushing their ships, or one of their ships, out to Australia.
It's the Magic.
Is it or is it the Wonder?
No, it's the Magic.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
They had already made that announcement it was going to Australia and New Zealand to do their stuff, right? And there was a travel agent who was on the river cruise, and she was talking about, because she was from Australia, and she was talking about a client that she just had. She's like, I just don't understand why this family is going to spend like $15,000 or $20,000 or something like that for a 4-night cruise on the Magic that basically wasn't going anywhere because with 4 nights there's not many places you can go. So I don't know, but might be if I had anything, I would say it's probably going to be Royal. Would probably be the cruise line I would choose. Yeah. So.
If I had that kind of money, I'd be doing 4-night cruise for $15,000 to $20,000. But
so I don't know.
We could go on quite a few vacations for that much money.
Sure, no doubt, no doubt. Let's see here. What else we got? Nico, after watching the movie Hostel, I'll never say in one. Listen, movies dramatize a lot of things, right?
I watched that movie too.
Let's see, what else we got? Donald, can't wait for Northern European cruise. Yes, that is going to be so exciting. We still have space available.
Yes, Donald and his wife and 2 older children.
Yes,
are going with us now.
We have we still have space left for people to join. If you want to join, that is going to be on the Norwegian PRIMA, setting sail from Reykjavik, Iceland,
Cannot
and
wait.
finishing in London.
Not London.
Or Southampton is actually where the cruise port is at. So the Wonder is going to Australia, not the Magic. That's what I thought. Because the Wonder is just going to stay on the Pacific, I think, from...
It's not the...
I think it is the Wonder.
I'm pretty sure it's the Magic that's
in the
down
summertime,
in Australia.
I think it's going to be in the summertime, they're going to do the Alaskan sailings. And then in the wintertime, which will be summer for Australia, it'll go and do the Trans-Pacific and then do stuff down there. So, Keith, it's more than a puddle hopper plane to New Zealand. It's a couple hour flight. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. I thought they were actually much closer together. True, Disney cruises are far more expensive. Hands down, they are a lot more expensive.
Yeah, okay. This is Disney's fault for their advertising. It is the Wonder, but it says Disney Magic at Sea is coming.
Oh, I get it because of that may I can.
But
see
then it's like the Disney Wonder.
I can see where there could be some confusion.
Yeah, fix your wording there.
Let's see, Chris, are you going back to Alaska? So there was
no, we currently don't have anything planned. Let me specify that first before Josh goes on this little tangent.
We don't have anything planned, but there was a moment that was looking pretty legit where we might pick up a last-minute cruise this summer, actually, to do an Alaskan cruise, and that was because I was finding just a few cruises that were pretty cheap, and the reason that is because they were one-way sailings.
Yes.
So if you don't know the atmosphere of Alaska and how it works, the most expensive cruises are going to be from Seattle and from Vancouver. And those are typically doing round-trip itineraries. They tend to be the most expensive because they're just more popular. And the cruises that we had seen that were very, very cheap were one-way. So they would be starting somewhere like up in Alaska and then...
Was it like...
finishing in Vancouver.
Seward?
I think maybe Seward is where I want to say it. But kind of starting up in the northern part of what you could call maybe the peninsula.
Northern part of it's not even close to northern.
It's the northern.
It's the farthest up that you can go on a cruise ship. Pretty much.
It'd be the northern part of the itineraries as far as you can go. It's be one of the more southern parts of Alaska as a whole.
We're not up to the Arctic Circle yet.
No. But the catch, though, is, and here's a little travel tip for everybody who's watching, is that typically airline flights, like tickets, are more expensive when you do one-way flights.
Yes.
When you do round trip, they tend to be cheaper each way. They're still more expensive, obviously, because you're flying two ways. But if you take that price and break it in half, it's cheaper each way than it is to buy a one-way ticket. So flying into Seward, which is complicated already from MCO or even from Miami, is expensive. To then have to fly back from Vancouver, a little cheaper, but still a little challenging. So we were just kind of like, you know what, we've done Alaska once. We did it last year.
We need to go somewhere else before we go back.
Before we spend that money, got to do it somewhere else. So yeah. So that's where we're at with Alaska. Actually, if we went back to Alaska at any point, I would be to do a land tour. That's what I would love to do.
I'd like to do a land tour.
Yeah. I think that would be cool. We'd get to see the actual, the last frontier.
I want to go out on a bridge that goes over, the water and watch the bears catching salmon in the river. My friend Sarah did that, and I'd love to do that.
That'd be super cool. I'd love to do it, too. The timing, though, I feel like would just be...
Yeah, I don't know how long that they had to sit out there and wait for that to happen.
That'd be rough.
Yeah.
So, so that's where we stand with Alaska.
We get to put more...
Oh, yeah, we've got the travel map back here, but we haven't...
to do more pins.
We haven't put any pins up on the map yet, so we have to do that from our MSC Cruise that we just got back from.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you have no idea what we're talking about with the MSC Cruise, too, this was a cruise that we just did. I'll give you a little bit of background info. I think we paid for it in full back in February. So this was a last-minute booking by all standard, by all means of traveling with a cruise. We did this very last minute. Our friend Marianne had talked us into going.
It did not take long for her to talk us into it. It took about a 5-minute conversation.
Mostly Taylor, and then Taylor had to really twist my arm. But to be honest, though, we spent for a balcony room that included Wi-Fi and a drink package.
For each of us.
That was up to $9 or €9.
But that's what they were anyway.
That's just how they were priced. Was only $2,000. So that's really, really cheap.
Yeah.
Right? On, let's say, Royal Caribbean, to do one of their ships through the Caribbean on a 7-night sailing for 2 people in a balcony room with Wi-Fi and a drink package, that's easily
$5,000,
$4,500, maybe more than that, right? So it just made sense for us to do it. So that's what we're talking about when we keep like referencing back to MSC. We haven't posted any videos yet, but the first video is going to come out next Wednesday.
I posted about it on Instagram too, if you follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. And then we'll have videos that come out every Wednesday about it from the trip. So we got
starting
to see...
next week. Josh will have the first one out.
Yeah. So the first one's actually almost done. But we started in Haifa, and then we went to Cyprus, and then we went to Mykonos, and then we went to Athens, and then Santorini, and then to Turkey, and then back to Haifa. And then we spent a day in Israel. So before flying back, because we had a 11:55 at night flight back to the States.
We were not going to sit at that airport all day.
It had Wi-Fi. I didn't use it though. I went to sleep. The plane had Wi-Fi. Never, because the flight over didn't have Wi-Fi.
No, we still couldn't use the Wi-Fi.
What?
Because it was T-Mobile customers only got it free.
Oh, that's right. Never
so
mind.
Delta...
But I slept.
I'm sorry, but Delta is promoting this free Wi-Fi right now. You only get free Wi-Fi if you're like a Delta, whatever, like T-Mobile. A member, or if you have T-Mobile.
Yeah.
So it's not free Wi-Fi on your 10-hour flight to wherever you're going.
Yeah.
It ain't free.
But anyway.
You can message for free, though.
That is... Yeah,
everybody can message for free.
Keith, what about a Nile River cruise in Egypt? That is something we would 100% do.
We would.
So, absolutely, hands down, we would definitely do that.
Definitely going to be a pricey one for that.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah. It'd be definitely on the more expensive side of things. Again, that would be...
But our excursions are... River cruises are expensive, but you have at least one short excursion in the morning every single day, plus breakfast, lunch, and dinner, wine, beer, coffee, tea, sodas, with all your meals.
Frank Ludwig says, my phone is seriously listening to you guys talk because an MSC Cruise ad just popped up on my Facebook. It's telling me something.
It's because your phone's unlocked and those infrareds are like reading your eyeballs.
Oh my gosh. Please stop with the conspiracies. Yeah, so, I mean, definitely is something that we would consider doing. When? Not sure.
No idea.
No idea.
That's what I said. I was like, is there, like, when will we get to Africa and when will we get to Asia? Because Asia's huge. Africa is huge.
Right.
There's so many things to see in both of those. And I want to see Wonders of the World. We are gonna get to see one. We saw one last year. We're gonna get to go to one this year too in August. Colosseum.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
In Rome.
That's right. Yeah. So,
it's on our itinerary.
Yeah.
I got a picture of it on there.
Yeah, we do. There's something else I was just thinking about with the travel agency that I wanted to say, and now I can't think of what it was. Did you lose your earring?
My earring back.
The back just fell off.
You know, I didn't realize how close Indonesia is to Australia.
Indonesia?
It's quite close there.
It is pretty close, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what the heck was I just going to say?
Sorry, I don't know.
Now I can't think. Maybe it'll come back to me at some point.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we've got here's what I want to say. Somebody was asking about budgeting for like their trip. I think it was Kelly. So another really great thing that I like to do when we start looking to plan out a trip of what we're going to do is I actually start with the price of flights. I think a lot of times people will look to go to a destination based around maybe an event or like the time of year or something like that. But I find it a lot better to look at it based on what the price of flights are and then build your trip around that price, the price of those flights. And
well, it's much easier for us because I can be so flexible with my job and Josh can work from wherever. So that can be challenging for some people. But like, that's why we were like picking October because there's a lot of different places in Europe that the weather is nice in October, but flights in October are cheap. So that's why we're like, we have to go somewhere in October because you can't beat the price of the flights.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you're looking to do something in Europe, what they call the shoulder season, which is like spring and fall tend to be like the best times to go as far as pricing goes, because it's just a little bit of like a lull. So they just tend to be a little bit cheaper. Frank, take the Ultimate World
Yeah, I
Cruise
saw
on
that.
Royal and you will see it all. Yeah, we would.
Frank, only if you go with us, and we'll build a track.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Every night.
we need we need a lot more funds before we do that one. That would be super cool though. That'd be awesome. That would be so cool. So yeah, I mean it's I think when it comes to like what we're like looking at doing, because we've got a lot of like exciting things coming up. Obviously, like we're really stoked and excited about the Med Cruise in August with friends. As you know, as part of the group, we have 2 new people going with us, which will be a lot of fun as well.
We do have a smaller group for this cruise.
We do have a smaller group, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Northern Europe, we've got quite a few people going. It's going to be a...
Yeah, I mean, assuming everybody still goes, yeah, for sure. So
we got a lot of new people for Northern Europe next year. I'm excited to meet everybody.
Yeah. But I think it's just one of those things that like I don't know. We're always just trying to find something a little bit new and different to do for us, right? It's not obviously new for the world. It's been there, but I think it's just, you know, going back to like kind of like where we were at with Disney, where it's just like it was so great and super cool to be and live so close to Disney, just get to go in and kind of like have some of the magic and different things like that. But it's just one of these things. Like every time we walk through World Showcase, I just go like, you know,
I would rather be there.
Right, like everybody spends so much money to come to Disney, and obviously to have like a really great time, and like 99% of everybody has a really great time when they come to Disney. But you're also really missing out on like just so much more of the world that you could experience and see, in. Stuff going in through the box right there. Everybody can hear us? Oh yeah, we're back now. Yeah, we're back. So I must be having some issue here with my my little box thing that I got going on. But we'll just unplug this. Maybe that'll help. Unplug a few things. So all right, we've had plenty of issues with this live stream already, which is too many more than I always like to have.
I think I'm ready for a nap.
Oh gosh, it's like 3 o'clock.
We've got a long 2 days ahead of us.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we have to get up like super early tomorrow morning. Tim, thoughts on a Hawaiian cruise? I will add to this real quickly. I did. I will throw this out there. We had this planned about maybe doing a cruise.
We can still do it.
Right? So
next year, we can still do it.
I mean, yeah, we probably could. So, but I think if you're going to do a cruise to Hawaii, a Hawaiian cruise, it's got to be probably NCL. I don't know if there's another cruise line that does what Norwegian does.
I don't think so right now.
Which is where they started, I think, at the Big Island, I think. I could be wrong, but they sail all around the Hawaiian Islands. So you fly to Hawaii, get on the ship, and sail around Hawaii, and then fly back from Hawaii, right? A lot of cruises do them as like, you sail from San Diego or LA or Seattle, and you go to Hawaii, and almost the entire cruise is spent at sea, and so you have to usually fly back, and still have more time on the end of your trip to see whatever you want to see. So could be possible. If that is something people are really interested in, we might look into doing that. Maybe next year. I don't know. We'll take a look and see. So I don't know. I would love to do.
I'm up for anything.
So, all right, everybody. Well, we are going to sign off on the live stream. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for asking questions, being part of the chat. It means a lot to us. If you got questions on travel, on cruising, drop them in the comments below. Send us a message on Instagram. Don't ever send us messages on Facebook because we won't see them. Or you can shoot us an email. Everything is in the description, I believe, of the video. Could be lying. If it's not, go to a different video and find it in that description. Right? It should be there. So
there's a link like on the channel in the about section.
There should be. There should be a link there somewhere. So, but thanks everybody for being here and chatting with us, hanging out with us. It means a lot to us. Excited to share everything that MSC has to offer and our
You'll
thoughts
see.